Oculus Quest 2. So there was the update that we mentioned a few weeks ago or a week ago, which allowed for it bumping up from 90 hertz, which was the max that you could do previously, to 120 hertz. And also Air Link, which is the one that I was more interested in, which you could do through various means. You could install third-party software, which was about $30, virtual desktop, a few other things to make it work. But this is all integrated into the Oculus Quest 2 and the Oculus software on Windows. So first, I just want to check, Mike, have you tried this on your Oculus Quest?
I have not, unfortunately. Did not get the time yet.
So I'll just cover it quickly. So it was so finicky. I don't know, everyone hates that I always bash VR's finickiness. But dude, even my mate who's the biggest VR fan ever, and he like used the VR every single day, even he was like, it was ridiculous. Like I had to restart the Oculus about 6 times, and I had to restart my computer about 3 times. And every time I went online, because effectively what happened is, I think I called it out at the time, version 28 had Air Link and the 120 hertz integrated in it, but it wasn't switched on. And people found a workaround to switch it on their console, like on their Oculus Quest 2. So the VP at Facebook, who runs Oculus effectively now, said, you know what, stuff it. We'll switch it on for everyone, right? So the next day I'm like, okay, that should be enough time. He said it's switched on for everyone. Then I read on the comments of like all the boards around Oculus. People are like, it's not working for me. I can only see this. I can't see that. I'm like, I won't have that problem. So I updated everything. And dude, I had to, I'm just being so clear. I didn't do anything other than restart them over and over again. And eventually, because this is what people said online, they said I just kept restarting and then eventually it popped up. So eventually, once I started restarting the Oculus so many times, it popped up with the 120 hertz and the Air Link functionality. And it's also very finicky where you have to actually switch the Air Link on, and it only switches on for 24 hours on Windows. And then it will switch off automatically.
Integot, you are a true artist. I just put it out there. You are suffering for your art.
I don't even love VR, and I'm trying to do this to test it out, right? Now, I have like a room, and so I'm very fortunate to have a room dedicated to my study and gaming and stuff like that. But it's because of the crap that I've put in it, it's become kind of a little bit narrow, which kind of sucks for VR, right? It'd be better to have a squarish space. So I have like a cable, everything like that in the room. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll be able to go into my lounge, which is just like literally 2-3 meters outside of this room, and play it there. And you know how I did say last time that you had to be within like 3 meters of the router. And I'm like, that can't be real. It is so real. So I connected it
Holy
all.
moly. Wow.
I went into the lounge. It is like 3 meters away.
Yep.
There is a door there, to be fair. And as soon as I went out there...
Well, you had the door open, right?
Yeah, I had the door open. And I have to say, guys, like when I had it on and I went out there and I was playing Half-Life Alyx, it was pretty sick, man. It was pretty sick because it was like nothing connected to me.
Yep.
And I was just in that world, and it was way more immersive than...
You're just like, you're blind, you're walking around the kitchen, like knocking things over.
Smashing, I know. Being one of those YouTube memes.
He's a head crab. Oh no, that's my wife.
How do you know my pet name for her?
Wow.
It's a joke. So yeah, like I realized in that room, what would happen is it'd be perfect, and then it would just stutter. Now, a stutter in VR is like very jarring because you're like moving around and then the world stops and you get a little bit dizzy from it. I came back into my office, my study, and it's perfect. Like I'm very pedantic, very finicky. Honestly, I'm not even sure if I really could tell the difference between the physical cable, which was plugged into like the best USB port I have, and Air Link. Now, the resolution thing, I don't think I have a powerful enough PC to really be able to tell, or like, I don't know if it's actually running at 120 hertz. Like I'd have to do some testing on that. But I actually find that I never really have that much of an issue with it. It's more just the physical space that's more bothersome with VR for me.
I thought
many amiibos.
I thought the 120 hertz, so that's only on games that have been updated to run at that, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? Like Air Link, it might not run 120 hertz. It might be 72 hertz by default on Air Link. And you might not be able to do anything else for that.
So can you get both at the same time? Or is it you can have 120 plugged in or you can have Air Link?
I don't think you can
At the
get.
standard.
My guess is you probably can only do 72. Although the PC one did have an option for 90 and 120.
Okay.
So I don't know why it would show that if you can't
I'll
run
check
it at
this
that.
out.
I mean, that'd be a fair trade-off, honestly, if that was the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, it'd be a fair trade, of course.
And,
Yeah.
like for me, like I don't have a massive issue with it. I think it's just more just. It's always a bit jarring just moving in a VR space and, you know, just not correlating necessarily to your physical movements.
Yeah.
I don't think having more frame rate is going to do away with that. But yeah, having said that, honestly, I can't go back now. Like I will play Half-Life Alyx using this method. And I might actually, because my router, I'll be able to move it a bit. So I'm actually considering trying to move my router out of my room a little bit. So then I can use the lounge room just for VR.
The whole way.
I'm starting to become a VR nutcase, like some people are. So yeah, no, very cool update. Still just like Facebook. Still would never buy an Oculus Quest 2, and it's actually just becoming more and more of a shame. And my big hope is that Sony, when they release, you know, PSVR 2, they have a PC app and they offer similar functionality, but you know, they've already got the wireless thing going on Oculus. Now I actually do, like, you know, it's kind of smart from Oculus. I don't know if I can go back to having a cable. And that's how the PSVR is going to work. It's going to have a cable running into the PS5. So, no, there you go. But you should check it out, Mike, given that you're the bigger fan of VR and never use it.
Find some time.
All right, well, let's go to your segment. Returnal.